Tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. Coming Soon podcast coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. My guest, Matt, 2Die4, man. And of course, that's not your last name, but how are you doing today, brother?
Good, man. How you doing? It's Bolea, but yeah, either way works. So.
No, for sure, man. And of course, man, I mean, we had talked about bringing you on here a few weeks back and been busy the holidays. I'm still trying to, burn off that turkey I ate like from Thanksgiving, man. I ate too that much, but how's Thanksgiving for you, man?
It was good. Hey, man, like my son, I have 3 kids. My oldest is 6, and I gave him the blessing of my turkey leg for the first time this year. Nice, and so that was pretty cool to see, man. So I didn't fill myself up the same way, but it was cool to see him fill himself up, and the other ones too, for sure. But yeah, man, it was good. It was great. It was great.
No, and it's always, for us. I mean, of course, we tend to make less and less every year. Both our kids are gone out of the house, so of course, we don't cook for we don't expect people to come over. But yeah, man, we just kind of this year. I know we didn't do any turkey, man. We kind of stayed away from that. We did ham. We did sides and just enjoyed the tranquility, man. It's nice and peaceful. So
yeah, it's about getting the family together, man. You don't need the turkey, you don't need none of that. Just get everyone together when you can. So that's what it's all about.
No, for sure, man. And of course, you said you were in Virginia, correct?
Yep, Richmond, Virginia.
And born and raised?
No, I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
So yeah, actually, man, my parents bounced around, and before you even ask, no, they're not military, because every time I tell people they must have been in the military, like, nah, they were just bored. Like, they were bored. My dad just had the money, I guess. But we went from Raleigh to Cali to Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and then finally start chilling out in Virginia, and that's where we've been since I was like 3rd grade or something. But like when I first was born, bro, they were just on the move everywhere. Like everywhere. It was crazy.
No, yeah, same here, man. I mean, we grew up here in I'm born and raised here in San Antonio. Middle school, my parents decided to sell our home, and we were like nomads. Moved all over the city, man, and went to like 3 different middle schools, 2 different high schools. I would have gone to more, but I was like, man, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna finish off my last few years here at the last, but our game plan was basically, my mom saying, okay, well, you know what, you can stay there, but you're going to have to find your own way out there. And I did, bro. I used to skateboard for like an hour and a half to school every morning, man. So, of course, I was always late. But, I used to be able to.
That's dedication, man. Awesome.
No, yeah, man. It was fun. It's just, weather-wise, the rain, the cold, it sucked, But, yeah, for the most part, we jumped on the bus everywhere. But yeah, man. And funny you say as far as military, because every time people tell me they come here to San Antonio, I gotta kind of ask, because it is military city, USA. We're down to like 3 military bases. We used to be up to 5 or 6 at one point, but I enjoy it for the most part, man. I've met and seen like all walks of life when it comes to people moving out here, from all over the world, man. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
And of course, man, talking about this last name you got there, man, 2Die4, bro. Tell us about that, man.
So 2Die4 is the company kind of brand I own. I established it this year under an LLC for the first time, but I started it kind of, I don't even know when I actually started it, like 2022, but then things started kind of moving more so in a direction that I just kind of rolled with near the back end of last year. And because of that direction, it started moving, and I was like, all right, 2024 is going to start up. Let's see what we can actually do with this and see if we can make it a legit thing. And dude, it's literally become something that I had no idea. Like, it's not like big by any means, but like for me, for my expectations of any of this, dude, it's just, it's been a wild year, bro. Like doing stuff I just never would have expected to do so far. So it's been awesome.
No, you see, and it is a good thing, because I've started my own business prior, to when I was learning, I guess I can say. But yeah, you're a business owner. The fact that you get your LLC, you get registered, you get everything you need to become a business. That's definitely a win. Because not to knock anybody out there, but of course there's a lot of people that sell product, that make product, but for them to be a legitimate business, not everybody does that, when it comes to like paying taxes and doing all that other stuff, you know.
Bro, I'm getting all my records together right now, getting ready for January, bro. I'm just like, this is gonna be the most wild tax time like ever.
Yeah,
There's a lot that comes with it, dude. But yeah, it's been fun and it's crazy because like I had no idea the first thing about owning a business or any of these legalities behind it, and just nothing about it, bro. Like I said, I never even like planned on ever even doing anything when it comes to owning my own type of like entity like this. So it's been a lot to learn, dude. But like you said, I mean, it's like when you start kind of feeling like there's a potential with something, it's like, all right, I need to make sure I do it the right way if I'm going to keep doing it, you know? And that's kind of what my game plan was for this year. And it's been working out.
No, yeah, because, you know, the one thing you don't want to do is piss off Uncle Sam, bro, because I'll tell you that much. You know, my first year, I paid back a lot just because I wasn't sure exactly what I could and could not claim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm still a contract delivery driver. You know, that's what I do on the side now. But before I was doing it full time, and it's just like when they came down, they're like, okay, well, how much did you pay? What did you use? I mean, I was like, damn, you know, I mean, from receipts and trying to do everything myself. I mean, I screwed up. You know, the following year, I actually hired somebody because there's a lot of paperwork, man, and you got to make sure everything's, you know, cross the T's and dot the I's, you know.
Yeah, I got a really solid tax dude who I've been using for a few years, and he's really into this kind of stuff too. So when I told him when I was doing my taxes for last year what I had planned for this year with To Die4, he was like, "Let's go!" Like he was ready for it.
Man.
So I'm blessed with that aspect. But yeah, man, it's like just trying to make sure I keep track of every little thing so I can like at least break even. That's the hope. But we'll see. So.
You see, and that's kind of, I mean, honestly, man, and I mean, of course, everybody wants to make, you know, we're out there to make money, but I mean, when it comes to not having to pay back, that's always a plus, you know. I mean, I think my second year and third year, I said, okay, I'm good, you know, and it got better, you know, but it's just now it's like I know exactly what to hold back. I mean, when they came to you know, like I said, as far as receipts, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you know what, I started. For the most part, I'm still old school, dude. I need paper receipts, you know, and it's just I know it's digital, and I save everything I can on there. That way, I can just email that to my tax person. But paper trail, man, for me, I still hold those and just kind of like, okay, you know what, just in case, because
bro, I'm the same way. I got my printer right here, and that's where all my documents, bro. I'm gonna see my tax dude. Everything in paper, it's probably gonna drive him crazy, but I'm like, look. Yeah. Like I need it physical. I need to feel what I've done, you know.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Cloud too much.
You see, and that's the way I am, man. If I can't feel it in my hand, you know, it's just I've done retail before, and like I had customers who are like, "Oh, well, can I see it?" And I'm like, "Well, here you go." And they're like, "Yeah, but can I see it?" Like they want to touch the product, right? And I gotta open it and be like, "Okay, here it is." But I get it, you know. It's just we're in that mentality, you know, where we have to actually. But let me ask you, bro. When it comes to the name, where did the name come from?
Man, it's. You know, I try to remember, dude, like, because when I was trying to think of a name for the company, what I wanted to do, because I felt like it was so kind of happening kind of unexpectedly the way it was, I was like, all right, I don't know if I want to have like a name for like a company or if I want to make a logo or if I want to make both. Yeah. So I started trying to think of something like, hey, can I make a name that can also work as a logo? And doing this has always been like legitimately like my passion. I've turned my passion for this hobby into like a business now. Yeah. And so for me, it's always been like, this is something that, you know, I would die to do this if I could do it. Like, it's something I would die for. And then To Die For. And then I thought, hey, I can kind of maybe use that name, shrink it down to make a logo out of it too. And just kind of have the best of both worlds. So I have the name, the logo, and then boom. So I did the number 2, the skull to represent die, and the number 4. And so, yeah, that's kind of how that all came together.
You see, when I first saw it, because of course I saw the name, but every time I would look at the skull, I kept thinking it was like 204. And I was like, is that an area code?
Dude, everyone, I swear, every time I showed someone a bird, like, what's 204? And I'm like, bro.
Yes, bro, because even like looking when we started, you know, messaging back and forth, man, I would look at it and I'm like, man, is that an area code, man? I said, I gotta ask. But no, it's not, right?
No, I'll tell you honestly, man, I've been thinking about changing the logo, the design a little bit for next year, but I've already bought and invested so much like for conventions, like tablecloths and all this stuff that have the logo on it now, and like my bags for orders. So I'm just like, damn, if I do want to change it up, I gotta like go back and something. I don't know. So, but yeah, I've heard that so many times. I'm just like, shit, like I didn't think that's true, but hey, it is what it is, I guess, for now.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to change your area code, man. What's 204, man? I'm gonna have to Google that, man. See what state that is, you know.
804 is mine, so it's not far off from where I am.
Okay,
so
wow,
almost works a little bit.
Yeah, okay, sure, man. And of course, man, I mean, when it comes to a business, I mean, of course, you have product. You had a couple of pieces that actually that caught my attention, and I'm sure a lot of people that were out there were kind of thinking the same thing because this is let me post it up real quick. Let me see what'll pop up.
Hey,
This right here, bro. When you posted that, I know you said you didn't want to post it yet, but you did leak it out, man, and tell us, dude, because of course, Return of the Living Dad. I mean, it's a play on words, you know, but I mean, what is this about?
So, dude, I'm so that's really cool to see that pop up, man. So, like, yeah, so this is my big project for next year. I've always been really big into health and fitness. Like before I started doing 2Die4, something that like only like people that are close to me know is I used to be like embarrassingly very viral on TikTok doing fitness videos and stuff and doing like parody, funny stuff. And it's funny if you go on the sounds and look up my account on the sounds with 2Die4 on TikTok. You'll see thousands and thousands and thousands of videos of people that have like done because that's what I used to do just for fun when I was doing my fitness, and that's kind of how I like meshed both these worlds now. So I wanted to kind of spin it back around eventually because I'm like, well, now this is working from a business perspective with 2Die4. I only did the fitness content for fun. I want to bring this into one. I want to bring it together somehow. And so something happened involving something with Return of the Living Dead.
Right.
And we'll get there later, I'm sure, while we talk. But it kind of like it fueled a fire in me. It sparked something. I was like, all right, bet. Like, let me see how I can turn this and make it creative. And that's where Dad came from because I am a father. And I think for parents, especially that are, you know, have kids and working full time, that care about their obviously care about themselves, but their fitness too. It's hard to keep that consistent. So I wanted to look at this from a way that would inspire me to get back on track, but also inspire others in the same type of like, you know, life that I'm living too. So Return of the Living Dad, that's where the name came from with that. And then just, you know, the supplement thing, I wanted to do it for so long, bro. And it's a lot to learn, but I also think it's nothing that we've seen in the industry around like horror and these conventions. Like, so it's also cool to bring something new out there also, because I want to have like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but like maybe have like samples at conventions for next year, or just have it on display to talk about it, but just bring something new and just try to like not only have something cool, but something that can help people kind of like do something that'll help themselves a little bit more too. So I'm super stoked for it, dude.
No, for sure, man. Because one of the things I do among this, I also do I cover combat sports. You know,
Oh, hell yeah, okay.
And you know, I have my buddy Braxton Smith, man. He just UFC vet, went just made his bare knuckle fighting championship debut like 2 weeks ago. Got a win.
I've heard that name. I've heard. I'm a huge UFC person, so like that rings a bell. But I love that stuff. Yeah,
man. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to one of the things, I mean, because I started covering conventions here, you know, when it comes to retro, horror, sci-fi, and a lot of people that are involved in fitness, whether it's combat sports or just lifting weights, bro. I mean, they're fans, bro. They're nerds. You know, they love going to these conventions. They love doing cosplay, and it kind of makes sense to do both, you know, because I was like, you know what, man, it's gonna jump over, and people are, you know, I have a lot of fight fans that follow me because they enjoy this stuff, you know, and they love it. I mean, when it comes to horror, you know, it's you know, the classics from 80s and 90s and 70s, you know, but yeah, man, you know, it's kind of cool. When I saw that, I was like, the first thing that popped in my head was like, dude, that's pretty freaking awesome, dude, because
appreciate it.
you know, I mean, when like I'll go ahead and plug him in, but there's a local business, got 210 strong, you know, and they have a gym out here, and the guy, like, he's always at the convention, bro. He's always you know, but he's a big dude, man, and he's out there like enjoying himself and having fun, and it just, you know, it just makes sense. But yeah, but that product is going to be coming out next year.
Yeah, I don't have a date yet. So like right now, actually for this weekend, and I'll show, I got right beside me here. So this is the only like test brand that I have yet, the Brains formula. So I am giving that away with any order for the rest of this week. But as far as like a date for this stuff to actually be like in the shop and released and all that, I don't have a date set yet, but I'm hoping at least maybe end of January, beginning February, but sometime early next year for sure. I just need to make sure that, you know, I get the samples in, I check them. I want to make sure the quality is, you know, what if I'm taking something like a whey protein, I don't want to sell people some shit that I want to be drinking myself.
No,
So at least I like the stuff too before I start like announcing it too much. But yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm gonna post this up because of course you just mentioned
there you go.
this is the giveaway, right? So people, how does this work? I mean, they order the shirt, they order anything, and they get a chance.
Yeah.
To win.
So Yeah, so it's anything on the site. So like I just have that plugged in because it's all return of living day kind of related and everything. But no, absolutely anything on the site right now that you order will qualify just to get that free bottle of brain. So
Sweet, man. I definitely want to try that, bro. I mean, I got a brain somewhere. I'm sure it's clouded, so I want to be able to take it because, yeah, it makes sense, bro. I mean, as we get older, I mean, I guess not so much as we get older, but I mean, we get more responsibility. There's a lot more going on. I mean, I'm real bad when it comes to writing stuff down, and I'm like, no, I'll remember. And somehow I do, it's like stuff that's like detailed, but I still remember it. And then once I use it and I don't need it anymore, I forget. And it's like, I'm like, crap, what the heck? What was I doing? Or what was it?
It
But,
goes back to you saying like paper trail. That's why I do like the notes. I write everything. I need it physical, bro. If I just like save it on my notes app on my phone, next thing I know, I've saved 10 other things, and I get too frustrated trying to find out where. Nah, bro. Just write it on pen and pad.
And I'm bad with that, and at work, because we have a little Teams thing where we message each other, and people post stuff, and I'm deleting stuff left every day, bro. I'm like, delete it, and then like 2 days later, they're like, hey, are you done with, did you get that message? And I did get it, but I didn't read it. If I read it, I read it quick, and I'm like, damn, so that's that's my bad, but I definitely need paper, man. Like, I mean, I have a paper calendar at work. I have, notes where I'm writing stuff down on paper, and I put my notepad down, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave it here. Passwords, they keep changing every freaking 2 weeks, man. So I keep,
oh my God. Real. So my full-time job, my W-2 job is, I'm an account executive for Verizon, or an account manager, I guess. So I manage all their like retail accounts and everything from Walmarts and Best Buys across Virginia. Damn. But bro, we run through so many third-party outlets and so many different emails and passwords set up to get into like the logins, and like you yeah, what you just said was just like PTSD for me. I was like, like every time I open that junk up, it's like change this, and yeah, crazy.
No, I hear you, man, and it's just one of those things. But I mean, of course, that what you just brought up, and it's called brains, ironically, right? But I mean, it's supposed to help with memory.
Right? Yep. So I mean, that's a big thing for me, and one reason, not just because of the play on words, returning with dad brains, it's all fun zombie bullshit, whatever. But I've been diagnosed with ADD, and I was on Adderall, and I've always had like a real like shitty memory, bro, shitty memory, and just my focus is all out of whack. So that was kind of like a weird thing to add in with like the more like the ways and the pre-workouts and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to have that because, again, like personally, like what is it that's important for me to take and that I'm cool with sharing? And like for me to have some sort of formula that can help with your focus and your memory and just like your day-to-day drive, I was like, yeah, get that on the books. And then it's a great play on words because we were basing this off of zombie shit. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's best. Let's do it. We got to roll with that.
No, yeah. When you first showed it, posted it up there. I mean, dude, you had me at brains, bro. I was like, oh shit, I definitely want to try it. I mean, I want to try it just because. I mean, of course, like I mentioned earlier. But I mean, I met this gentleman. I don't know if you can see it over the weekend in Austin.
Nice, hell yeah.
But, he was out there. Linnea was out there also, man, and I've met her before. Promoter here in San Antonio. He brought the OG crew out here, man, and it was just for me. I grew up with that stuff, man. So it was one of those highlight moments for me. It's just meeting everybody. And I'm gonna put this up there right now, man, because I mean that's the man right there, man. Joel Castillo, a promoter here, Retro City. But yeah, man. I mean, it was a good weekend. Having been able to hang out with everybody, and everybody was down to earth, man. Like, I mean, it was really I highly recommend every time the OG crew is out there, man. People go out there and support, man.
Yeah, man, they're amazing, dude. I haven't had the pleasure to meet Linnea yet, but I've met everyone else from not Jewel. Didn't meet Jewel. She didn't make it to Memphis. But Beverly is who I talk to her very frequently. She's like my godmother. I've told her that straight up at this point. Like, it's just she's amazing, such a sweetheart, and everyone else is too, man. They are just great people, and they're so passionate about this film that 40 years in, bro. Like 40 years and still running it for the fans like they are. It says so much for not only their passion, but how much they care about the fan base too. And like having to be a part of it with them, with everything going on right now, it's just such, I mean, it's a fucking honor, dude. It's amazing. Oh shit. Did you freeze up? Did I freeze up? Something is frozen. Uh-oh. Oh, Mario's out, and it's just me on live, I guess, right now. Technical difficulties? I don't know. I guess we'll just hang out for a second and see what's up. Oh, I'm gonna take my camera off so it isn't too weird.
And of course, see if the man can jump on. If Matt, if you're out there, brother, go ahead and jump back on. I apologize.
Damn, we good. Yep.
I think I was gonna say, man, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think we're getting deep, bro. Too deep in the conversation.
Bro, from what happened at my last interview, I would not be surprised, dude.
No, man, you know what? And for some reason, I apologize, man. Yesterday, I got home, and it turned out because I've been seeing construction down my street, and they're loading up this new fiber internet, but we already have like AT&T, man. So when they were out there, I was like, man, I hope they don't mess with our stuff, man. But I'm more than sure that's what it was. If not, then yeah, man, it's the powers to be, man. It's probably Hollywood trying to knock us down, bro. But sorry about that, man. But yes,
good.
But yeah, bro. I mean, of course, as we were saying, bro. I mean, when it comes to the product, I mean, of course, it's something like you said that you want to try first. Make sure it's great product. You don't want to just sell it just because.
Mm-hmm.
And being that it's fitness and it's something like you said you're very involved with. Are you already, I guess, marrying like your internet? I mean, as far as like TikTok, like the videos, are you kind of like throwing stuff back and forth?
What do you mean by that?
Well, as far as networking, I mean, are you kind of like, hey, okay, you know what I'm doing? Are you still doing those fitness videos, or is that a thing?
Yeah. So like, dude, I haven't done anything like fitness content in really since 2Die4 started. Because what happened was when I had my third child, my baby girl, that really knocked my fitness routine off. It was like I was, just having the full-time job and the two kids and everything, it was already hard to like balance it out. Yeah, once when little girl came, it was like, all right, that was getting really challenging. And it was crazy, bro, because once when I found out like a nice routine to get myself back on track a couple months afterwards when she was born, I go to my gym and there's a notice on the door that within a week they're me shutting down. And I was like, come on, bro. And like the time it's like, I'm budget conscious, and this gym I'm going to is like $30-$40 less a month than anything else around. So I was just like, maybe it's not meant to be right now. So I'm gonna stress too much. So I've let my like I said, I'm trying to get myself back together too. So for the last couple of years, I let myself go way more than I wish I did. Because bro, like I'm like when I started going to the gym, I weighed $138, bro. Like I was, and I'm back skinny. I'm like 150. I don't know, but like I ended up in a few years I was going. I worked up to like 200 pounds, and I was really into like the weightlifting, the bench, and all the three main deadlifts, all that kind of stuff. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like when you get deep into that stuff, bro, like you get deep into it,
Yeah.
So falling off And then like you're thinking about like a numbers game, like, man, I used to bench whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to start back at nothing. So it's been like a mental kind of like issue, but it is what it is, man. Next year, we're going to get back into it. And yeah, just having like the supplement line, that's is motivation for me. And I want that to be motivation for other people trying to do it too. So,
no, and of course, I mean, you already have a apparel. So, I mean, are you also thinking like a fitness apparel type stuff?
yeah, for sure. So my supplier that I use, they actually just got Adidas apparel that we can use too. So I've been kind of thinking about maybe messing with some of that, but also just like regular stuff. So I have like the regular shirt I'm going to use to promote the brand also. But yeah, I mean, I want to have like also, there's no reason not to, you know, I mean, anything's possible, especially nowadays, like with what we have available to us, just on the print on demand services for merchandise, bro, you can make anything. And most of the time, you know, you don't have to put up money up front if you're doing print on demand, because it comes out of each purchase, you know, in the moment you use that. And it's so flexible and easy to do. So I definitely want to get as much done with this as possible outside of the supplements, you know, the accessories like the water bottles, the gym bags, the shirts, just see what's possible. If stuff doesn't work, if stuff doesn't move, maybe take a step back from it, not completely like overdo it, but you know, whatever's possible and whatever can work. Yeah. Like, why not just keep it rolling?
No, for sure, man. And that's one of the things too. I mean, one of the businesses I owned back in the day was, it was like a fight gear company. And I used it to promote and manage some of the fighters here locally or in Texas. So it went hand on hand. But yeah, it's one of the things I learned quick was, you know, not to make 100 shirts first off, you know, just because a lot of them you're gonna sit on, man. But I started making like custom like walkout shirts. So I started posting like just, you know, I would make whatever the you know, friends and fans were ordering. I would do those, and then I would order like an extra 20 just you know to sell later or whatever. But you know, I had to, man, just quality control, you know, because if not, like, man, I had like at one time I had like so many freaking shirts, bro, and I was like, damn. And so all I could do was give them away, you know, like I was like, you know what, I don't want to sell them cheaper. I was like, man, I give them to some of the gyms, and you know, hope they wore them.
No, that's one thing I've learned myself too. I think that's the biggest thing I think a lot of us learn getting into this. You know, make sure you don't get over your head with what you invest into that you need to make money off of immediately. You know, I have like so many like 11x17 posters sitting here now, because when I start my conventions, I was like, man, you can get so many for cheap. I'm just gonna order all this. Should be able to be nah. I mean, it's still money that, you know, still gonna make it, but it's like I thought that would have been gone a long time ago. You know what I mean? So it ain't always that easy.
No, for sure, man. And of course, like you said, a lot of companies are using print on demand because it makes sense. You know, I mean, you order through them, their site, but I mean, they have their links, and you know, somebody else makes them and they ship them, and you know, it's smart business. It's a smart move, man. Just because, like you said, you know, like we said, you don't want to get stuck with overkill, and you know, like I mean, before you know it, man, you're gonna have to be, you know, wearing your stuff, man. Wearing your own clothes, which of course, you know, I'm sure you do, but you don't want like 100 of the same shirt, right?
No, absolutely not. I got enough now. There's part of my closet where I just look at it. I'm just like, dude, like it's cool, but it's kind of wild at the same time, you know.
No, for sure, man. And of course, man, I mean, we're gonna jump into as far as what the what was it, ROTLD Origins LLC is, bro. I mean, tell us about that. How did that come about?
Yeah, so you know, that is Return of Living Dead. That's the cast. That's kind of their assigned name that they're using to represent themselves right now. So like the logo that you've seen where they're walking, ROTLD Originals, blah, blah, I made that logo for them. So we've used that to make, they do shirts that they sell on their website as well, which is returnoflivingdeadoriginals.com. And then you can get the shirts from me as well on my site. But then we got like stickers and pins, and that's just what we do to kind of like get the name and the awareness out there, because at the end of the day, the issue here is, and I know we're gonna get into it, so I might as well kind of like dive a little bit. Return of the Living Dead, the movie, has absolutely no association with the originals, and there's a lot of confusion in the fan base right now, and a lot of the way that the originals and the cast have been treated in this process has been just really shitty, man, really, really shitty. So you know, we ain't trying to spread awareness to like, you know, completely like shit on someone's project, but also let the fans know like, hey, like this IP that you're seeing right now, it's not just about the movie, it's also about people being treated right. And there's been a lot of people that have been treated right in the process of this. And I think, you know, with, you know, we got Trash's Revenge coming, we got the sequel, reboot, whatever they're calling it, coming. I think it's only fair for the fans to know exactly what's happening with both of these projects, you know, and then they can make their decision on what they want to support themselves. If it's both, whatever. But just they should be aware of what's really going on.
No, no, for sure, man. And it's because I think it's happened quite a bit when it comes to a lot of the 80s films. I mean, I'm at the conventions and they're talking remake, and a lot of the cast members are like, man, that we're not even included. You know, they didn't even tell us or contact us. And it's kind of shitty because, of course, you know, I mean, they did partake in that movie or in those films. And the fact that they're not at least given a heads up or at least treated like, hey, you know what? I mean, because like you said, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, that whole trailer they dropped or teaser or whatever, it just confused more people because they don't know what the hell's going on. And, you know, whether it's them trying to just blow smoke and confuse people or just kind of, you know, do like a shock something, you know, but yeah, but like you stated, bro, I mean, the original cast, I mean, they have nothing to do with the movie that they're making as far as the Return of the Living Dead. I mean, whether it's a sequel, prequel, or just a new film, who knows? But the fact that they're actually jumping and supporting, you know, Trash's Revenge, I mean, it just shows. I mean, this is something that everybody out there should be aware of because it's kind of like what, you know, Return of the Living Dead was back then, an indie film. You know, it was a lower budget film. I mean, of course, it made it throughout the years, but you know, the fact that it's grassroots and they're pushing, they're supporting it, man. It's kind of it just makes sense for me to support that, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, you know, the reason why I even got as involved as I have gotten involved is because previously I was working with Living Dead Media, who's making the reboot and everything, or I don't know what it is, the new Return of the Living Dead movie, titled that way. And then I found out later on down the road that the cast hadn't given permission for, you know, certain images to be used. And what made it interesting to me is I was told that before my designs would be released that they needed, you know, to make sure they were approved by whoever's images that were being used in my designs. For me, that was a major red flag when I started hearing the other side of this. And so I did reach out. You know, Steve Wash is the CEO, and I reached out to him when I was reached out by Return and their production company, and I just never got a response. I never heard anything back. I was nothing. And so I kept, as I was getting a response from him, I kept learning more about this, and I was like, I know what side I want to like be on with this right now, because something ain't right, you know, something ain't right. And so that's how that all kind of ended up. But yeah, it's a shame, man, because at the end of the day, and I just don't understand, because I've seen this with multiple films now. Like, as I've only been in this industry like legitimately for a year, but I've been messing around. Like I said, 2023 was when people start popping off unexpectedly. Man, communication. That's all it comes down to, is communication. Like, you got a problem with somebody, got a problem with the way somebody's doing something, tell them. If someone's asking you, don't ignore them, talk about it. Like, things can be worked out so easy with honest communication, upfront communication. Because then when you just like want to hide and let things build and build and build, we're in an industry where we got eyes on us 24/7. So don't be mad and expect something to blow up publicly when you could have handled it internally and you didn't want to do that, you know? And I think that's the biggest problem, that a lot of, like, you know, situations like this, that's why these things happen. And here we are. Here we are.
No, for sure, man. And it's one of the things that happens a lot, because I think, and I even said this the other day, was that as big as the indie film community is, we're still small enough to where people talk. You know, people know everybody, man. Like, if I'm telling you one thing, about so and so, like, you're like, hey, man, I know that guy, and you're like, okay, you know what's going on, you know. But I mean, it is a small community. I mean, people know each other, and the fact that this is going around, as far as, you know, what's going on, I mean, people already know, man. They're talking about it. Those that don't, of course, they will, or like you said, I mean, they're still going to make up their own decision, what they want to watch, what they want to support, if they want to watch both. I mean, you know, it's still going to be a movie. But I mean, the fact that, you know, they went about it their way, you know, it's kind of what sucks. And, you know, of course, now the original cast is like, okay, you know what, we're gonna go this route, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, excuse me, the original cast, I mean, it's not even just me that was like trying to, like, you know, talk with Mr. Wash, but I mean, you know, the cast reached out too. Like, Beverly reached out. Like, we all wanted to talk about it. That's the thing. Like, we all wanted to talk about it, but instead we just got hit with a load of other mess, and it's just like, all right, that's how we're gonna play. It's how we're gonna play. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it is a very, like, this community is so small, and it's like the deeper I get into it, the smaller I realize it is, and it's wild, man. I mean, that's one thing. Steve Barton is a really close and dear friend of mine, man. I love him. He's a brother to me, and him and I have gotten so much closer in this year alone. And he's the founder of Dread Central. He was the producer of Terrifier 2. He's done so much work in this industry, and I've been able to learn so much from him, just him alone. And that's one thing we were talking about. We were having dinner over this weekend when he had his book signing for A Comedy of Tragedies. It just came out, and we were having dinner, and it was just like, yeah, like he was telling me the same thing. It's like, man, like once when you get in, it's just you realize just like everyone knows everything, everyone knows everyone. And that's what I'm seeing for myself. And it's really cool. It's really cool. But at the same time, it's like when you are running into hiccups and problems, it's like everyone knows everyone. So why don't we just like talk about it sooner than later to get it squashed, so there's nothing that has to be blown up over it.
No, for sure. Yeah, because like you said, if they would have dealt with it right there and then, when it was brought to them, man, I mean, none of this would have happened, I mean, they would have been involved, or they would have been at least told as far as what's going on. But yeah, man. But I mean, as far as when it comes to Thatcher's Revenge, man, I mean, do you know any news as far as when that's going to be released or start being production?
So I don't really know the news about the production itself. I know that they're going to be crowdfunding. I think it starts January 20th. And this is, Lene herself is producing it. Beverly's on this too. I mean, you got everyone's a part of this, but it's being written directly from them as well. So, I mean, this is, in my opinion, if you are a fan of the original and you don't want the original movie tampered with, you want to just have something that kind of gives a nod and respect to the original. I think this is the way to go, man, because they know what they're doing. They're not trying to make something that's a cash grab. They're not trying to make something. They're trying to make something to celebrate their 40th anniversary for the fans and for them themselves. It's supposed to be fun, and that's what this is all about. And that's the biggest difference. Is this other one on this side, I mean, money, and that's what it's about for most projects. It is what it is, whatever. But I think that's one thing that the fans really should be aware of is like Trash's Revenge is just about being a nod to just saying thank you to the fans and a nod to the original classic of the movie and just something that's fun for everybody.
No, for sure, man. Because I mean, like we keep mentioning, I mean, the fact that the original cast is involved and yeah, 40th anniversary, bro. I mean, that's a milestone, So of course they want to go out with a bang when it comes to the new year. I mean, the crowdfunding starts. I mean, we'll see production starts. Later that year. I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to schedule that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to them. I mean, just the fact that, like I said earlier, just the fact that the original cast is involved, it's like, okay, like I want to see it, man, because they're going to make sense of it. They were there. So of course, their character, their likeness, their how they went about, because I think it was, for example, like one of the cast for the original Return of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was telling them, because we were talking and I said, man, like people go to you for guidance and for like, hey, how did you go about doing this? I said, but you had nobody to follow. You were the originator, so it's like kind of the same way, It's like people look to these actors for inspiration and some sort of something to feed off of, and it's like it was them. They made it work. I mean, whether it was their character, their attitude, whatever they brought that day to the studio, it's just. But yeah, man, it's going to be fun. Like you said, I think that's the key word is the fact that it's going to be fun. Everybody wants to do that.
Yep, exactly. And you got to respect the roots, dude. You got to respect who established the roots, the actors, the producers, the writers, whoever it is, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, for the fans, and the writers and everyone behind the scenes deserves just as much recognition for sure. But for like the average fan, what they see when they watch these movies are these characters.
Yeah.
That's what they think of. So it's like you can't say that like these people from these movies are no longer relevant and all. Like, fuck that. Are you kidding me? Like they're literally still doing conventions to celebrate together with the fans. They're more relevant than ever still with the movie and how they can blow it up now. So don't you dare say that shit. So yeah, it's just like, I mean, you got to give respect, especially if you want to be a part of that legacy. You got to respect where it came from. In every aspect of the way.
No, you see, and the fact that the cast is still out there, man, it would have made more sense for him to bring them in and say, hey, let's make this happen.
It's it's wild. I look at the comments on that teaser and I'm just like, have a cameo for this person. What about cameo? And I swear it takes me so much to just keep my fingers off the keyboard because I'm just like, but it would be nice. It would be great. And you would think that'd be the way that you'd want to do it, but unfortunately, I don't think that's what we're going to see with that. So,
No,
but that's why we have
no.
another, that's why they're doing their own thing too, to bring that to the fans who want to see that.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, when it comes to the movie itself, I mean, they can follow your pages. They can follow the cast. I mean, they're the ones that are keep promoting it and pushing that out there. And of course, like I said, I mean, when it came to I was in Austin for the Blood Over Texas event, and Linnea was there. You know, I got to hang out with the original Tarman, man, which was one of my I guess one of my bucket list, man. I wanted to meet the dude. You know, he was freaking cool as hell, man.
Oh, yeah.
So that was fun, you know. But yeah, man, you know, I mean, like I said, I mean, the new year, you know, come 2025, hopefully, you know, when it comes to the promoter here, I'm hoping he brings him back, you know, or get something going, because they all did really well, man. I mean, the fan base showed up, everybody, you know. When it comes to horror, man, I'll put it this way: like I'm big when it comes to horror comedy. You know, whenever people ask me like, "Oh man, what's your favorite movie?" I'm like, "Dude, Return of the Living Dead, bro. Like Return of the Living Dead, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Chopping Mall, like all these movies that were funny, corny, cheesy, but you know, it was my childhood, man. I mean, I was a kid watching these films, and it just, you know, it explains my sense of humor. You know, I tend to laugh probably at the wrong times, you know, when it comes to life, but you know, I gotta laugh at it, bro. Like you know, it's life's too serious, you know. I mean, I understand there's things we gotta do, and as adults, but it's like at the same time, I'm like, dude, I'll laugh it off and then keep going, you know.
You have to laugh it off, bro. I feel like you can't avoid the darkness that comes with life and all the struggle. So it's like, if you're just going to dwell in it for what it is, you're just going to do nothing but dwell. You got to take a step back and just be like, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, you got to enjoy every moment somehow the best you can, or else you're going to drive yourself nuts. And that's, like you said, that's why I love seeing movies that can, you know, mesh the horror elements with comedy, because you need, I think not, I mean, fuck the movie, like not fuck the movie, but fuck just the whole like categories and stuff and genres. Like, we need to learn how to laugh at things that are like that we shouldn't laugh at, I feel like, because we're human. It's just life. Like, shit is going to happen. And like I said, when you dwell on it, what is that going to do? You know, if you don't have any control over that yourself, and you're just going to look at it from a miserable perspective, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You got to laugh at it.
I mean, it's just too stressful, bro. I mean, it's just like with my kids, you know, when they're growing up, you know, my oldest, I would tell her, like, man, you got to pick your fights, because if not, you're going to be fighting every fucking day, every, you know what I mean? Like, their life's like, just pick your fights, man. I mean, if it's something that you're like, okay, yeah, you know what, that's offends me or that, then okay, no problem. But other than that, man, like, just keep going, you know. If something bothers you, you know, go around it and move on, you know. I mean, but you know, that's basically been my the way I've been living like the past years, man. It's just, if I don't like something, I just don't do it anymore. You know, I do something else, and I just keep going with life. I mean, you know, it's life's too short, man. So
yeah, and that's the other thing with it, bro. Like, anything you deal with like that, you know, you can't look at it like it's just something. It's just some bullshit in the way. Like, it's something you learn from. So it's like, it's you need, the more shit you go through, the more you're gonna learn to like make the situation coming better, you know. So like, you know what to avoid going forward. When you say, all right, I'm gonna disassociate myself with this now, it gives you more, you know, awareness of what you do want to associate with yourself going forward. So everything happens for a reason like that, bro. And just people just get so hung up on the negative side. And it's like, you got to enjoy that negativity, because that negativity is what makes you better at the end of the day, if you can just push through it, you know. So you gotta have
it, bro. And that's another, there was something that stuck in my head like months back, and it kind of made sense, man. But it was basically like something about not so much depression or just, but I mean, the emotions, man. It creates something in you. Like, you can't experience like something beautiful without pain, you know. So if you fall down and you know, you get up and laugh it off, and you're like, okay, you know what, that was funny, you can look back and just keep going. But I mean, it's something like having to do with art, man, because a lot of these artists, when it comes to painters, singers, a lot of them deal with depression, man. That's how they express themselves through creativity, man. And it's just, you know, people are like, oh man, how'd you do that? And it's like, man, I'm homeless. I ain't got no, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that are causing this, and it's just, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm all for it. You know, I mean, when it comes to people being artists, I mean, dude, I love everything. I mean, I love going to sidewalks. You know, when people painting. I mean, dude, it's mind blowing, because I'm like, damn, like these people should be out there making millions, bro, and here they are, you know, on the street, you know, painting something so freaking great, dude. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's an outlet for people, you know. And I mean, people need those kind of outlets, and when you have that creativity for the outlet, it can just take so much off of you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, so like what you're saying, I mean, that's how it is with me, bro. Like, I think you saw the video. I posted a little like thank you video like the other day. And
Oh yeah.
that's one thing that I mentioned. It's like this year I've had so many crazy opportunities happen through this brand I've made that I would never have seen coming. You could never tell me in a million years this shit would have happened. Just with the small little bump that I've made in the industry. And it's such a passion of mine to see what's happened. It just blows my mind. But at the same time, with all that I'm thankful for, I've also gone through more shit than I've ever gone through my personal life this year than ever before. So it's like the amount of stuff that I have to be thankful and grateful for. I've also been feeling the most pain and stress and struggle at the same time going through it. So I mean, it's exactly what you said, man. It's like you got to look at what's going on and find a way to make an outlet out of it and find a way to like inspire yourself from it and keep on going. And I feel like at the end of the day, if you're not going through a lot of shit like that, you're never even gonna know what you're capable of to become because you're not going to be challenged like you should be challenged. So you need to take it like a challenge and like learn to grow from it. And grow.
And
yeah, it's tough, but it's life.
No, yeah, man. I mean, we keep going, you know. I mean, you don't want to stop. I mean, for me, I always tell people, man, the reason I keep going and I'm doing so much because I do a lot, man. I mean, when it comes to work and just outside of work, you know, projects, indie films. I mean, whatever I can get into, man, I'm in it. And it's because I personally feel like if I stop, I'm gonna drown. Like I don't want to just stand still and be like crap, you know. It's just that's when the demons attack and I just start thinking too much, you know. But staying busy, man, it's you know, for me, it's life, man. I mean, I don't want to stop doing anything, you know. I mean, of course, I want to sleep. I mean, if I get 5 hours sleep a day, I'm good. But other than that, man, it's just being out there and you know, doing a lot of these indie films has been for me. I mean, even if it goes nowhere as far as for myself, I'm okay with that, man. But it's like being like grabbing the behind the scenes shots and watching the magic happen, you know, has been a plus, and it's something that I'm glad I experienced, man.
Yeah, so it's got to be so much fun to witness that, dude. Like that's I'm actually working alongside one project right now called The Fetus that's coming out for next year.
Yes, bro, dude.
I'm so excited for that. And another thing that I just feel so humbled to be a part of in any little way like I am. But me and Joe Lam, who he's the director, we go back and forth every now and then in messages, just ideas for things that he's working up. And I mean, the movie is so you talk about horror comedy, it's so much fun. And I mean, it's really cool watching this come to life, you know. Like it's so cool. There's really something special about like being a part of this, like the indie movie magic, like you said, and just seeing what's happening. And that's the one movie that I'm like really like just like kind of like working with a little bit right now while they're finishing up the fine details. But next year, bro, I'm telling you, like wait for that to pop off. That's gonna be such a fun film. I can't wait for that to drop.
No, yeah, I mean, I saw that pop up, and I thought for some reason when I saw the poster, I was like, damn, when did that one come out? I thought for some reason I thought it had came out already, man. But now it's a new project coming up, so that's pretty cool, man.
Yep. Lauren Rivera, Bill Moseley, dude.
Yeah.
What? Julie Curtis too, but yeah. Oh, crazy, man.
Man, I was gonna post this up real quick, man. I have my boy Big John here, man. It says I want the horror industry to bring back monsters. Tired of the demon possession movies. Dude, I won't argue with that.
Look, I think 2025 we're gonna see an overload of zombies. Yeah. So I think with all this zombie stuff, that could really lead way for 2026 to get a monster scene for sure. So, but no, oh my god, dude, dude, this year actually, now that I think about it, you got The First Omen, Immaculate, A7, Apartment A7. You had a lot of demon stuff this year. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's a solid point. I think we can take a break from that, probably. Do something a little different, for sure.
And for me, like for the most part, man, every week I go down a rabbit hole, man. Like I Google like horror mermaid movies, and like I go through the whole week just watching, you know, horror movies based on mermaids, and then the following week I do horror mystery like Bermuda Triangle, and I just go down that rabbit hole where I'm watching films that I had no idea existed, bro. But you know, I enjoy them, man. I mean, I sit down and watch them. I mean, some of them I'm like, well, they weren't for me, but still, you know, I got to sit there and enjoy it, man. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and you never know what's gonna pop up either, man. I mean, like there's some stuff that lays dormant for like a while, and then just the right eyes get on. Next thing you know, it's the next big thing. So
no, for sure, bro. And of course, I was gonna post this up, but yeah, real quick, when it comes to the project, I mean, the fact that you know you're involved with this business. Now, I was gonna post this up real quick just for people to see. Now, this is just some of the product, right, that they can get from your website.
Yep. Yes, this is actually the first line of merch that we're doing for Trash's Revenge. So yeah, so the shirt, the poster's not available yet. I'm probably gonna have that at conventions. That kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, where I just bought an influx of posters and now they're sitting there. So I'm like, I want to make sure they go. So I'll probably get those more so for conventions. But that shirt is available now. And then when you get the shirt, I'll also I'll throw in like ROTLD stickers and pens in the package too for people, if I have them available, just little freebies and stuff to make it fun, because I think it's just about experience, a good experience for all the fans and customers, whatever. Because I think that's so important, dude. These fans and myself being a fan and a fan first getting into this industry, there's so much passion we all share, dude. And I feel like that in everything we do, we gotta share that passion, regardless if it's in person or in a purchase, whatever, man. Like, it means so much to people. Little things like that. I there's somebody that ordered a shirt and I threw in a couple posters and stickers and pens. Nice, and when he got it, he just sent me all these pictures of what he was doing with it. He was so stoked. I'm just like, love it. That's what it's all about, man. It's not about the money. At least for me, it's not. Money is like class with this, dude. Yeah. And it's easy for me to say that because like you said yourself, we have another full-time job to fall back on, is what it is. Right. But I just want to do stuff that gives people a great experience and just is fun for everyone, including myself. So man, it's all about having fun with this stuff.
No, and of course, with that being said, man, because the fact that you're selling these shirts, of course, the cast is aware of this. They support what you're doing. They're on board, so it's not like you're doing this on the side behind their backs or without them being there.
When you come, one thing we want to do during the conventions for next year, which is getting a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, because these tables have sold out quick from January to March, and I did not expect them to sell out. But what we want to do is, and what we did in Memphis as well, is they had their ROTLD original shirts at their tables, and so that saves me money, so I ain't got to have shirts at my table. They can make their money like they need to. They can come back and see me at my table, and then I got the pins and the stickers and the posters to accessorize what they get from them too. Nice. So yeah, we're working together, man. It's unreal to see what's happening.
Yeah, bro. You see, and that's for me, I get a kick out of I'm the moderator for the most part for some of the events here. So I do a lot of the Q&A panels, and it's for me, it's like, damn, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I'm really talking to this dude, man, or this guy, or this character, or actor, should I say? And it's just it's mind blowing, and it doesn't hit me until after I'm done. I'm like, damn, that was pretty dope, man.
Bro, it's crazy. When we all first met at Memphis, Beverly was introducing me to each cast member individually, and that alone was just like, what the fuck is going on? How? It's crazy. And then we all kind of got together at one point. We're all talking, and we're like, we need to take a picture together. Let's all get a picture. Miguel was like, let's just, there's no one in the booth. Let's just run in the booth, take it over. I was like, let me shoot my shot real quick and see if they'd be cool coming to my table and taking a picture. So we got the 2Die4 logo because we're all working together. It'd be cool. And they were all about it. So we all hustled together to my table in my section, and I got the whole cast of Return of the Living Dead with me, held around my table. We're all taking pictures. And it's like, in the moment, I'm almost blank in the moment, dude. And I just it was wild, bro, because there's people walking around the table and everything, in the aisle, and they're just stopping and they're just staring
bro, who is this guy?
What is going on right now? And bro, this is only my second convention I've ever been to as a fan, as a vendor. I've never even done convention until this year in general. So this is all so new for me at the same time, and to be experiencing it, what feels like to me 0 to 100 right now, bro. Like you said, as soon as they walked away and we started doing our own thing again, I was like, what in the fuck? Just
they were just
that's not normal. It's amazing, man. We both do this stuff, and it's man, when you really have the passion for it and you're doing it, there's no words to describe it. It's amazing.
No, yeah. It's just like I tell people, if I could do this full time, man, no doubt, dude, I'd be on it. It's there's no reason why I wouldn't want to do it full time, But I was gonna say Miguel, man, because he was here, and that guy's a freaking ball of energy, bro. That guy was all over the place.
Wow, boy.
Funny as hell, dude. Cool guy, man. He was going and taking pictures with people for free and shit, while people are in line. I was just like, damn, dude, this guy's the real deal, man.
Yes, Miguel is so dope. That dude, his energy is so fun, man. Yeah. And like you said, he'll be going. They all do the same thing, but Miguel just got this wild boy side on him, dude. He's so cool. He actually I'll show you here real quick. So I mentioned the fetus, and at the conventions we sell fetus condoms.
I saw that, bro.
My man Miguel bought a pack of Peter's condoms. So I was like, let's go.
No shit. I saw that and I was like, dude, that's a freaking good that's a good promo right there, man.
Amazing marketing. Yep. So much fun.
Bro, but of course, man, we're gonna reach up for the hour, man. But tell us, bro. I mean, as far as like we stated earlier, man, we're gonna recap. But I mean, you know, the film coming up. I mean, of course, you know, the original cast, they're supporting, you know, Thrash's Revenge. So I mean, that's gonna be in the works. I mean, crowdfunding is gonna start next year. You know, but yeah, you know, everybody out there watching me, of course. I mean, what do you want to say, man? What can they expect next year?
Yeah, man. I mean, next year, I think next year is going to be the year of the zombie, bro. I kind of like your boy said earlier, like we saw a lot of like possession stuff coming out this year and everything. Like, I think that we're going to see so much zombie stuff come out. And I think at the end of the day, when it comes to this IP and this franchise, it's just so important for the fans who are truly fans of where this came from, just to be aware of, you know, what's really going on behind the scenes, because, it's our money that supports this stuff. Yeah. So, like, I know how I am about my money, and I don't want to give my money to people that I truly do not support. I don't care how cool what they're making is. Like, if you're doing something that doesn't vibe with me, I got other things I need with my money. So it's important for the fans to be aware of this. So yeah, Trash's Revenge, Return of the Living Dead, and then I think like Resident Evil is doing a lot of cool shit this year. So, like next year, so much zombie shit next year. It's gonna be awesome.
I know. And like you said, it's gonna be the year of the zombie, man. I mean, I'm all for it, man. Like I said,
28 years later, like dude, and oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. So yeah. Man. So it's going to be a ton of fun, dude. But, I mean, as far as, you know, my stuff going on, the supplement line is going to be really fun. And that's going to drop early next year for sure. And then, yeah, all my stuff, too, www.2die4shoprva.com. And then all the social medias, 2Die4 RVA. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. And, it's going to be a fun year, man.
I don't know, dude. I appreciate you jumping on here, man. Like I said, we're gonna be in touch. I mean, there's still more things I want to bring you back in here for.
Absolutely.
But, when that time comes, bro, I'll hit you up and we'll get to talking.
Sounds good, brother, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
No problem. Don't hang up yet, brother. Everybody out there, of course. Once again, this is Spider.